We are coming to you live from Love, Peace, Harmony Center, and you are watching Hawaii Wellness Network. And there is the modality's probably been around for a while, but it's a new term that I started hearing last night, and signature cell healing. And we have Karinna on, who's certified in that modality, and you're going to talk a little bit about it.
Yes, I am.
And Hans, our camera guy, is going to get a demonstration.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That'll be great.
Great. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, first I wanted to thank you very much for all that you're doing for the spiritual community and for this beautiful, I was sitting here waiting for my little turn here. The beautiful book that you and Worth are putting out is just fantastic, and just happy to be here and be a part of this spiritual community here.
Yeah, we have an amazing community.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. And I'm stepping out in a different aspect of that community now. I've been had many lifetimes. I was a teacher way back and lived in Europe, and actually originally from here and a UH grad. However, when I came back, I began working with Fred Sterling and Master Guide Kiriel, and for many years ran their publishing company and also their events coordinating. And so for many years I was doing signature cell healing workshop coordination, so traveling around and helping people to learn signature cell healing. And now it's come to the point where I've had many, many beautiful experiences for my own healing and with my mother and different people that have been really helped with signature cell healing. So I decided to open my own practice.
You saw all the amazing things that were happening with the people that are certified, and you thought, well, maybe I should do this.
And how can I share it with more and more people? And this is my way now, and I just want to open that opportunity to more people.
Great. Do you want to talk a little bit about what is signature cell healing
and
how it got started?
Everybody, there's not a real recognizable name because it's just not as well known as things like healing touch and Reiki. I did get certified in both of those, so I do know what that's about, and it is very similar to signature cell healing. Signature cell healing is a 4-body healing modality, so it works on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels of the person. So although you may have a physical ailment, that the source of that ailment is going to be found in one of the other 3 bodies. So the healing...
Do you want to explain what the other 3 bodies are?
The other 3 bodies would be the emotional aspect of you, the mental aspect of you, or your spirit light. And signature cell healing, now why do we call it signature cell healing? And the signature cell is a cell that's found in the pineal gland of your head. And what happens in signature cell healing is we use light or love energy to light up that signature cell, and in turn that accesses the cellular consciousness of the healee and starts to create a safe and loving space for that person to heal. So that's why it's called signature cell healing, and it goes really quite deep into the cellular consciousness of the person. And that will bring up aspects of past life memories or healing in this lifetime that you're working on. And the healing session is a safe place for you to share with the healer, the signature cell healer, and begin your healing journey, healing back into love.
So if someone has blockages of maybe not finding the right partner and attracting the wrong relationship, or not getting the career or the promotion, or they're stuck just not being able to lose that weight and they just can't figure it out, they've tried everything, this might be a good way to find where the blockages are.
Yeah, especially an emotional type of thing like that, or it might be a mental stress. What it will do is focus you back into your own heart and find, instead of looking outside of yourself, you'll begin to look inside of yourself for the answers. So it's not that the signature cell healer or myself, I'm going to give you your answers. What you're going to do is have a space of love where you can find your own answers. And as a life guide, what I call a life guide, as well as a signature cell healer, I can also help you to answer questions that might lead you to that person or open your life for that person to come in.
And how many sessions would you recommend somebody
Well,
go
when
to?
you start out, the first session is usually about 90 minutes. And that allows us to consult and to find out what your intention is. So we set a collective intention for the healing. And the following sessions after that are 60 minutes. But they also have a counseling aspect to it. So what we recommend is a series of 3 to begin with. And if you're working on an extended healing journey, for example, my mother had a cancerous tumor for many, many years. She was never sick. She was just one of those people in my life that was never ill. And she came to me when she was about 80, and she said that she had been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and which was a major shock for all of us. But I had been for many years a signature cell healer, and I said, Mom, if you'd like, I'll walk with you on this journey. Maybe you should need the Kleenex back.
Yeah, we cried last year. I should say I didn't cry, but the other guest cried. Yes.
Well, she'd never been ill a day in her life, and maybe she had a hip replacement and a knee replacement, but here she was with cancer, and it was so out of the blue. But what it had just come after was she and my dad had just moved out of the home they'd lived in for 44 years into a retirement home. And she had to downsize and give up all of her memories and go through every single thing in that house and say, is this for the thrift shop or for the rubbish, or does this go to the retirement home? I mean, you had to go through everything, and real emotional. So what I feel it brought up was this journey with cancer. And the journey for the two of us was to come back together in love. And I found through our healing journey together that I got back together emotionally with my mom. And our relationship got stronger. And she did her treatments because she was too old. Well, I don't want to say that. Sorry, Mom. Too old. That's what the doctor told her. You're too old for chemotherapy.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well, she said you'll have Rituxan treatments, which is it's an antibody and it's an intravenous kind of thing. So similar to chemotherapy, but not as aggressive. But the oncologist basically said, you're 80. Why don't you maybe you want to just get your things in order and enjoy the rest of your life with your family. Well, my mom flipped out at that. She said, no, my daughter is a signature cell healer, and we'll be doing treatments together. And the poor doctor is a young guy with his computer there, you had no idea what she's talking about, right? So I said, well, this is what we're doing. And he goes, well, just, go ahead. And we did it. And about a year and a half later, we had done, maybe 2-3 sessions a week because she really needed it. She had edema, she had all kinds of swelling, she had fibrosis, so we went back after about a year and a half, and I had the pleasure of sitting in that examining room with the doctor and my mom, and him pulling up the latest PET scan and said, well, I don't know what you're doing or what you've done, but the cancer is gone. Wow. So please just, keep doing what you're doing.
So it's a good thing she didn't do the chemo and the radiation and everything.
Yeah, well, she did her treatment, and I want to emphasize that I would never discourage anyone from going to their doctor and doing the recommended treatment. And that's the signature cell healing, like the other energetic healing modalities, is a complementary healing modality.
And you can work together with the doctors.
It works really well together with allopathic medicine or whatever you're doing. So
and you're actually going to do a demonstration. We have our video.
I am. I would like. It's a very simple healing modality.
Would you like to come up?
Let's have our.
He gets to actually. Yes, he's always a good sport.
Okay, so here we are.
Thank you.
And it's very simple, but I want to also emphasize that prana breathing is a really important part of signature cell healing. So we make a connection with our Healy Hans here, and
am I closing my eyes?
You may, okay. Yeah. Please relax, and that's what we want to tell everybody is just relax. And it's usually done on a table, on a massage table. You have your clothes on, and the sessions go maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and then there's some speaking afterwards. But what we do is we do a lot of prana breathing. And it's a deep breath that accesses the creator light, the golden particles, and the healer takes like a dolphin breath and brings the golden particles through your crown chakra, into your heart area, through the thymus, and then back up the shoulder and then through down your hands and into your right hand, which is placed on the crown, right over where the pineal gland would be in the center of the head. And that signature cell is right in there. So we're aiming through the palm of the hand into that pineal gland to light up the signature cell. So with that said, this is how it would go. So what that does is that's the first movement, the first step in the opening sequence. So that would bring the light through the pineal gland, and what I've been doing is sending it into the thymus, and that's a really important gland in healing. It's part of the endocrine system, and it also energetically carries a lot of the memories from your childhood. So it's a way of accessing the child self, the energetic child self, and memories from that person. And then the light goes throughout his physical body. So from the signature cell, which carries the blueprint of his lifetime, in this lifetime, what is this blueprint? That cell will talk to all the other cells in his body, because every cell carries an aspect of the signature cell from the pineal gland. So every cell in his body knows the perfection of that creator cell or signature cell. And then the second step would be we come up here and still breathing, and come around and down, and we'll come right to the carotid arteries, and we'll find the beating of his heart. Just come around. Yeah. And lightly, so we don't cut off his blood supply. But what we're doing is breathing again 5 times, and in our Lemurian numerology that we use in signature cell healing, 5 is the number for love. So 5 deep prana breaths, and then we will send the light through the carotid arteries, through the circulatory system into the thymus, and again tap into those child self memories. So that's the second step. There are 5 steps in the opening sequence. We might not have time to get through all of it. The third step goes into that's lighting up the T cells in the thymus, and the T cells are helpful for the immune system. And then we go to the B cells. I have my thumbs on his spine, and my fingers on the clavicle on both sides, and my palms down on his shoulders, so that I can, through my breath, breathe and send light throughout his whole skeletal system. And this will light up the B cells that are in the bone marrow, and this also helps with his immune system and his healing. So all of these steps in the opening sequence are ways of beginning the healing, and then once we get into the healing, past the opening sequence, there are various techniques that we do based on what the intention is for the healing. So we'll do this one and then maybe we can rotate back. But now imagine that as I breathe, that the energy is coming up over his head through the skull, then back down the spine, and through my fingers on the collarbone is going down through the rib cage and down all the way to his toes. And we see those golden particles of the Creator's light just lighting up every cell in this body throughout the whole circulatory system and the bones and the B cells in the bone marrow. So that might be a good place to stop. It goes a little longer. How's that feel? Are you relaxed?
I am very relaxed. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Right.
How do you feel, Hans? Can you describe?
I feel wonderful. I feel good. I feel
Have a
good.
nap
I
now.
feel good.
Well, great. How does someone get in touch with you if they'd like to have a session? Or
Careful. There you go. Yeah, we do it on a table. Usually the person's lying down. We can't do it in a chair. Let's just sit back. Of course, my ad is in Hawaii Wellness.
yes, and there's an article.
And I have a profile there and an article. And they can reach me here in Hawaii, area code 808-554-3424. And my email address is Karinna Nielsen, that's Karinna, Nielsen, Nielsen, @gmail.com.
And you're going to have a 2 to 3 hour intro, so if someone just wants to get some more information, it'll be coming up in the next couple of
That'll be
months.
coming up too. And please also stop by the Mind, Body, Spirit Expo
In May.
in May 18th, 19th. I'll be giving a talk there about signature cell healing, and also be there at the booth. The Signature Cell Healing Foundation will be having a booth there, and I'd be happy to see all of you, and we'll have demos there at the booth.
And to find out about these events, they can just go to our website and the events link. We'll have
Events
them
link,
all.
or visit me on Facebook. I'd love to see you there.
And what is your Facebook?
Facebook is Karinna Nielsen. You can
Your name?
Probably just pull it up, and be happy to be your friend on Facebook.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks so much. Aloha.